We change teams every 8 hours, and the residents work over the course of a month or two with many different staff doctors. So today they work with me, tomorrow they work with someone else, the next day they work with someone else. So over the course of 2 months, we were having a hard time tracking the residents, whether they were doing well or not so well. And the residents were complaining that they weren't being given any feedback about their performance over time. So we implemented a system where every day at the end of the shift, the resident would get a small card about the size of the notepad, a small card filled out by the staff about the resident. And we put all the candidates' roles on there, and we put little words describing what the role was, and we put the scale from 1 to 10, and so on. So every day the staff had to fill it out. So what do you think happened?
Big administration.
No, they didn't complain at all. They said no, they weren't worried about that. But I should have been worried about that.
Yeah. No dialogue is good.
Sorry?
Taking off or no dialogue or no.
That's exactly right. Yeah, they said okay, 10 out of 10, everything all the way down, 10 out of 10, here's your card. Yeah. And there was no dialogue. So we did some research around this, and we were able to prove that this was happening. And the residents appreciated the effort, but they didn't learn much. So we changed it, and we took the scale away, and we left the candidates' roles there, and we said, don't comment on everything. Just pick the 1 or 2 things that really stood out that shift, both good and bad, and identify them, and just write a comment about why. And if it's something that could be done better, explain why it needs to be done better. And we took away the numbers. We just had 2 categories. It's either an area of strength or an opportunity to improve. And those were the 2 boxes. That was it. So over the course of a two-month period, we collect all the data cards, and we actually do it on a computer now, so we can track how many times health advocate was a strength, how many times medical expert was a strength, for every resident. So at the end of the rotation, they get a little printout with all the comments and the numbers of times they were identified. So if a resident goes through the entire rotation and not once did anybody identify their manager role as a strength, then I would give them that feedback and say, you need to think about why nobody notices your managerial skills. And I think you should set some objectives around manager for your next rotation. And so on. And this all goes back to the program director essentially. So we took away the obligation for the staff to comment on everything at once, because we know people can't do that. They will pick 1 or 2 things. The trick is to convert it into language that we all use day to day and that the residents can identify with. And for us, it was canvas. And that, we did research on that too, and they do that. The staff pick on average 2.3 CanMeds roles every shift. So they do actually put some thought into it and pick and choose. So that was just one, and that worked for emergency medicine. It might be very different in anesthesia. I know psychiatry for their daily clinics sometimes use cards in our environment. They look different, but the underlying principle is the same. It's just an example of something we did. But we changed it. We didn't get it right the first time, so we changed it.
Thank you.